Alrighty, welcome back. We're going to do the bottom of the chassis. That's what we're doing. Aidyn's in the house. Aidyn asked if he can come over for a bit, and what we did is we put him right to work. Why not? He's at home working on his Mercedes. You're on break from school, are you not? Yep. He's on break from school, and he's home working on Mercedes. Popped over. I said, you wouldn't mind sanding that control arm with you? He said, no problem at all. So basically, this is where I'm at. I'm also going to get him to help me carry in the chassis once I get the bottom of it cut or filled in. Not filled in, but filled. But what I got is the holes that I've drilled back out on the chassis. I've just drilled them out with a drill. You've been proud of me. I used the drill to drill the holes out, and it kind of wound them out nice. Didn't have to use a die grinder or anything, but I've been grinding them off. There's a sharp edge there. I just want to knock them off. Transmission mount. Motor mount. Just make sure they're not sharp. I've got a little bit of weld here I want to knock off. This is the side, this is the underneath side. This is the side you're going to see when she's upside down in the ditch. That's the side you're going to see. So, we won't go there, will we, Jolene, baby? Huh? We're not doing track records, are we? We already discussed that, didn't we? We had a fun day yesterday. A lot of nice gifts people were giving us. A lot of nice people out there. Wow. That's all I got to say is wow. We're going to cut these little supports off. These supports were to hold the rear end in place. And now it's time to cut them off because we're going to do the underneath the chassis. That's a good thing. The chassis did not move. That's a good thing. Tap that with a hammer. I don't want to cut it too far. That's all. So we're just going to take and mix up a little bit of filler and go on the bottom of it. You can see weld marks on it, dig marks, that sort of stuff. That's the sort of stuff that doesn't look good when you paint it, is the dig marks. And that's basically all I'm trying to get off is the dig marks. There we go, that's all I wanted. We'll take the different flapper wheel, knock them off. So what we're going to try to do is, we're going to try to put a little bit of filler on the bottom of this chassis really quickly. Then we're going to scrub it off really quickly. And then we're going to give Aidyn maybe a little going over with the primer gun. He's working on his Mercedes, putting floor pieces in it, stuff like that. And we'll give him a little bit of info for helping. Don't want to heat the filler up on the other side, just go around a little bit. Basically that bar was to hold the rear end in place. when I got the rear end underneath there because we didn't have any air in the bags. We've had to go over it a bit. I'm just going to blow that off. And basically what I got a lot of grinder marks on the edge of the chassis. I just want to get all them grinder marks off. Not putting anything on there for strength. It's just for cosmetic. If you like the supermodel getting ready to do the runway, someone does her makeup. And that's basically what I'm going to do. Do a little bit of makeup work here. Jolene looks amazing today, like always. Hair's getting very long, Jolene. Her hair's getting very long. Aidyn, I must say you look good too. You got a Hiltz hat on. I don't want to leave you out. Didn't want to leave him out. So we get a little bit of filler here. Just going to mix up a little bit here. We'll try to do as much as we can, as fast as we can. I dropped some sandpaper there, and I want it back. Any hardener in the house? And the sandpaper I just sort of keep there in case we need a piece somewhere. There's a good piece for Aidyn while he's doing that. He's going to go so far with the 40 grit. Then when he feels like he wants the 80 grit, there's a piece right there. And he knows when he's far enough because he'll hit metal. And it looks right, basically. And it's kind of a poopy job that he's got going on, but you got to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere. Aidyn was asking me some questions this morning when I first started doing body work and how old was I when I first started my shop. I think I started really getting into body work in my later 20s and worked out of a little shop at the house I owned at the time, and then sold the house and rented a shop from my aunt for a little while. She had a little garage there. It wasn't much of a garage, but it was a start. Did a bunch of body work for people. And I did whatever came along because that's what I had to do to support myself. And basically, I'm just going to give it a coat. Just try to make sure that I get all the scratches and dig marks from the grinder. That's all I'm going to do. Nothing other and nothing less and nothing more. You can see the dig marks on the edge. Should probably put it on like that. And this way here, the underneath will look as good as the sides and the top. And I want more on than I need, because if I don't put more on than I need, well then I won't have enough to sand. And that'll be pointless. That makes sense, I hope. So nothing is for strength. It's just for cosmetic. For Jolene and the runway. You see the grinder marks all along the edge of this. That's what I'm trying to cover up. Trying not to get it splashed on the top side because I've already got that side done. That's what I got to tell myself. Make sure. Do it that way. See the grinder marks here? That's what I'm going for, them grinder marks. They don't look good in paint. Any grinder mark or any weld that's on that edge, I want it covered up. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. Aidyn, did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, very good Christmas.
Very good Christmas. Very positive, Aidyn is. Very positive. And mine was really good. I got all kinds of gifts from people that I never met before. Maybe someday. Maybe. You never know. Think for the best. Just getting the edges here, just so we can get them looking nice. That's it. Grinder mark, grinder weld marks, that's what I want to cover. And there's a little piece of stuff there I don't want in it. That's what I'm going for, is that stuff. Yeah, let's go make some more. I'm in a race with the clock. Gonna get a rag and some hardener. So basically I want to cover the whole bottom of the chassis like that. And come on. Ah, it's hard. Where's the filler? Do we know where the filler's at in the hardener? I had a box here I bought. Do we know where that's at? Ah, there it is. Got some Z grip here. Basically what I want to do is I'm just putting it on a thin coat. So that way there I just got the Z grip here. Maybe I can just thin coat it and have no pinholes whatsoever is what I'm hoping. That's what I use for the pinholes on the top side of the chassis. This hardener, you really want to make sure that you've mixed it all up, because if not, it'll squirt out like ketchup. You know, your juice comes out first and then your ketchup comes out, and that's not fun when that happens, is it? Not me, it isn't. Not to me, it isn't. That's basically what I want to go on there. I want to come out like a cream, not a juice. And I want the chassis to look the best it can so when we prime it, or when we prime it and paint it, it looks fantastic. That's basically what I want. If you're starting with a brand new chassis, that's a different story. But I've made this chassis and I've grounded it, I've welded it, I've done all kinds of things to it. And it has welder marks all over it and grinder scratches and that sort of stuff, so that's what I'm fixing. If you have a new chassis, that's a different story. That's a whole different kettle of fish, isn't it, baby? That's a whole different kettle of fish. Put more on than I need, always. Not going down there where the weld is. It's too hard to get down in there. I'm just going to do this part. You can see grinder marks in that primer right there where I ground that, try to get down in there with the grinder, and that's the stuff we want to get out of it. Can you see the grinder marks there? Like, probably not. This little step up in the chassis, I made that. That's out of some 1/8 plate, and I stepped it up for the reason being is in case Jolene's car goes on the ground, and we have a place for the rear end to go. And your car cannot go on the ground unless on the ground if your rear end does not have a place to go. So this is basically necessary. This little kick up is necessary if you've got a car that you want to put on the ground or air ride on. Generally is necessary. First time sand and body fill for Aidyn, is it not? First time.
on the Bugatti front end way back.
Oh, okay.
And that was it. So.
Well, at least you say you worked on a Bugatti. A lot of people can't.
Yeah, very nice.
A lot of people can't. Oh, my yep, they come out. Here she comes to straighten me out, boys. Here she comes, straighten me out. I'm going to do the seam sealer trick on that one. It'd be nice to show you when it comes time, but we're not there yet. I might be able to get it done, see how fast I can go. Just mix in small batches. If I don't, it'll go hard on me because there's a little bit of playing around there. So basically what we're going to do is sand it off. Like I said, I'm going to probably sand it off with an 80 grit. This is a little finer body fill than the Napa fill. And I use both. Get out of my way, tire. Get out of my way. I'll have to beat the holes open again when I do it because we'll have, don't like getting them full again, but that's the way it goes. Not much stopping it, especially when I got a grinder mark going over top of it. I want to fix it. I want to fix it. Or the other side. And I had to drill the holes out from this side, because if I didn't, I bury them, I'd never find them again. So that's what I did. I drilled all the holes out and did that way first. Didn't want to bury them and not be able to find them. I think I got a plan for this thing. I think I'm going to do the sides and then come along and do the center after because of on this side. I'm going to get all the edge. You really want to do a car, like if you're really, this is for trying to do a chassis as nice as possible. Now, this is not for your basic chassis job, you know what I mean? I wouldn't do this for any chassis. The chassis would have to sort of be worth it, or the car would sort of have to be, worth this work. Let's face it, you wouldn't do this to I suppose you can do it to any car you want to, but you really want to make sure that, not make sure, but it really wants to be worth it to you. Where it's got the Bugatti name on it and that sort of stuff, we really want to do a nice job in the chassis, I would say. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. I mean, if this was a 30s hot rod, I don't think I would do this. Not unless I was taking it to a big show of some sort and trying to win a prize, I wouldn't do it. And, I wouldn't do it to a car like that, but, 30s hot rod, what for? But if you're with the Bugatti name on it, I feel like it's necessary. or not the Bugatti name, but yes, the Bugatti name. I guess I feel like it's necessary, sort of. But any car, you know, can deserve it if you want to take the time. If you want to take the time and make it extra special, that's what you do. You fill out every piece. Fill out every piece. That's how the big boys do it. Make sure everything's very nice. Going pretty good. It's better that way, just doing the edges, and then I'll come back and do the center after when it dries. It's been nice having a couple days off. It's been nice. And just take the Christmas in, you know. Reflect on life a little bit. The good and the bad. It's like Aidyn said this morning. I said, I got two sides, Aidyn. He said, you're like a coin. You got two sides. That's true. Everybody's got two sides. I'll do a little bit there. I'm not going in there where the welds are. I don't think it's really worth it. All right, Spirit. This side. Oh, don't want that in there. Don't want that on the other side, not at all. I don't want any fill on the other side. I've already sanded it off. I don't want it on there. Looks too good on the other side. Put more fill on it. But it'll probably have some on there from spillage. And we'll deal with it. I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it. We'll have to drill the holes out after. That's fine. Dun, 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 dun. A little fill down through the middle. I like to cover it all because I find it the easiest. If I come in somewhere and just put a little spot of fill on somewhere, I find that it's, what can I say? Didn't like that part right there. Get out. There's some goop right there. Get off. I like to cover the whole thing because of what? I find it does a better job. If I was body filling something, I would not come in just body fill one little spot, because when you start blocking that one little spot out, it affects all the area around it. So I always generally like to cover the whole thing. Just for me, it's easier than trying to come back and just fill in a little tiny spot. Like I said, it affects the area around it, and I don't like when it does that. I want it to do, I want to fix it, but I find that if you cover the whole thing, it's easier that way. You just put less on. I just find it easier to cover the whole thing, and hope you can understand that. Yeah, just one level surface is nice. If I fill out a spot and I got one little low spot down here, well, I'm not going to go over and just mix a little bit of fill up and try to fill that one little spot. I'd rather just mix some up, come over and put some in that spot, and then take a squeegee and fill the whole area again and block it all as one surface. I just find it easier that way. Generally, you'll find that body fill will be harder and softer in some areas. Depends on how, the hardener that you've mixed in it, how long it's sat, how fast you're doing it. So I find every time that you go to do something, I like to cover the whole area, not just a little piece of the area. I just find it easier that way. I'm going to jump over here because I find that soft on the sides yet, so now do the center, it'll be hard. So I'm going to come over here. Body fill is good for so many things. When I bought one of my houses when I was younger, I bought a house and the stair railing was broke. And the stair railing would be quite expensive to replace. And what I did was I took some body fill and I fixed it where the stair railing was broke and shaped it like down where the round area was, a big post, it was broke. And I just shaped it with body fill. I stuck body fill in it, screwed it back together, and like I said, shaped it with body fill, painted it. You could not tell. It looked absolutely gorgeous. But it ruined the staircase having it broke at the bottom with the post coming up. It was, like I said, it was broke. It did not look good. And I absolutely made it look fabulous by just screwing it together and filling it in with some body fill. Then I repainted it. Looked awesome. That was my fix. And you can do the same. Not that everybody has a broken staircase, but if you have one, it's an easy fix with some body fill. Ooh, didn't want that. Leaked through the hole. I got it dripping on me now. some more up. It's going good. It's going good. I think it is. It's going to be nice to get some paint on the chassis, put it back together, get it all painted up, maybe take a break from the chassis for a bit. That'll be nice to have it all painted and get it all ready. Basically with this body fill, it's nice to get it on and then shape it. Get it on, then shape it and get it going where you want it to go. It's better to have it on there because it doesn't harden on your plate. And you'd rather have it harden on the car than on your plate, I think. Once you get some on, then you can lay it out. So, like as I was talking to Aidyn this morning, so if you were building a car for something like the Toronto car show, the Autorama car show, and you were looking to win, and what I mean by win is, you know, go for competition and try to build one of the nicest cars there. This is something that you'd be doing to that car. This is something you'd be doing is filling your chassis out, and the reason being it just makes it that much nicer. And that's what happens when you're building show cars. It gets pretty serious, and that means every piece has to be gone over meticulously, and this is what it takes. Work like this. And that's why it takes people years sometimes to build a car for that sort of stuff, and millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Some cars are millions of dollars. And years and thousands of hours of labor. And this is where the thousands of hours of labor come in. Sanding control arms, filling out chassis. That's where it comes in, just right there. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what goes on. That's the game that's being played. How nice can you make it look? That's the game. And when you put something like this together, you get it all painted, you get it all cleaned up, polishing the chassis, whatever you're doing, how far you want to go with it. When you scratch it, that's a bad one. So really tells you how good the car has to go together. The car has to go together just like a puzzle. It has to fit everywheres and have perfect fitment. And that's where it takes time, hours, and labor. And if you're paying for something like that, that's where the big money comes in. If you're doing it yourself, that's where the labor comes in. So when you go to your next big car show, when you go to the Motorama Custom Car Motor and Motorsport Show Expo in Toronto, and you come see us, go look at the best car there, or whatever you think is the best car. The eyes are the beholder of the best car. But you go look at the car that's got some of the nicest paint and the mirrors underneath and all that sort of stuff. You have to ask yourself, how did they get it to look so nice? Well, I'm showing you. I'm showing you with many, 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 many hours and some filler and some good body work. It's basically how it gets there. When you put a piece of a floor pan in a car, you know, I've done it many times. You put a floor pan in a car. How do you get it in there so you can't tell and no one else can tell? How do you get it in there so no one can tell when you put a floor pan in a car? Well, you fill it out. You grind it. I've done it many times. You grind it, you sand it, do the best job you can welding it in, and then you fill it out. That's the end of it. You fill it out. So Aidyn's putting a floor in the Mercedes right now. So if he wanted no one to know that he put a floor in that, he put some pieces in it, he has. If he wanted no one to know and he wanted that car to look perfect underneath, well, he'd have to get underneath that thing and do what I'm doing right here. Fill it out. Grind it, fill it, sand it, prime it, make sure there's no picks in it, paint it. Get it upside down. And how much labor would that take? Lots. And that's why them cars are so expensive and so nice, because someone has taken the time to do what I'm showing you right here, right now. That's what has gone on. So go pick the nicest car there that's up on mirrors, and you'll know why it's there, because I told you. They've done what I said they've done. And we're doing it Jolene's car because, I don't know, why not? I don't think we're going for any trophies or anything. I'm just building Jolene a car, but it's turned into, you know, do a good job on it. Let's do a good job on it. You know, fairly nice job. Because we can, why not? You'll appreciate it, won't you, Jolene? Jolene will appreciate it. She'll appreciate it. And then I can go on to finishing Elvis or the truck. I'm not sure. I think we'll go more on your car than Elvis this year. I think the reason being is because I'm thinking about that race down there. I'm thinking that'd be fun. I could all tow it down with that if we didn't finish the truck. Tow it down with Elvis. That'd be fine. But I'm looking forward to that. Towing the race car down to Maine. We're hoping and praying, keeping our fingers crossed, the Motorama Custom Car and Motorsport Expo, March 11th, 12th, and 13th. If you want to buy tickets, it's motoramashow.com to buy tickets. We're going to be there all 3 days. We're hoping that continues on. We know what's going on through life right now, so let's kind of keep your fingers crossed. Tap your lymph nodes. Tap your lymph nodes. Make sure everybody stays healthy. Healthy as they can anyways. Do. Don't want to get in the other stuff there. Yeah, let's go this way on it. Yeah, Aidyn's building his first show, helped building his first car show and don't even know it. Huh? Helped building his first car show and you don't even know it. Pretty cool, eh? And generally doing something like this is not how fast you can do it, it's how good you can do it, basically. And obviously, someone building a car like this and they're filling out the chassis, money's not an issue. With us, it's time. It's time. Because I'm doing the labor and Jolene's letting me. Just going to do a little bit down the center of that bad boy. And believe me, I can spend more time on it. Yes, I can. But that's not where it's at for this one right now. We're not there. We're building a three-quarter car show. I'm trying to keep the money out of it if possible. The rest of it anyways. We have spent a little bit of money on it now, but now it's all time. And I'm hoping that we know that time's worth more than money. Isn't it, Aidyn? There you go. Once you pull your fill one way, it's always good to pull it the other way, because wherever which way you're pulling it is where you're taking the fill. So if I pull it this way, I will be pulling fill down this way. You have to realize if you're pulling it that way, you're taking it that way. All right. Got a little bit left here. See metal right there? Put it on there. Good sticky stuff. Good sticky stuff. Aidyn's making that control arm look like $1 million. Yeah. The holes that I got filled, if you flip it over, and if you're looking on the other side, there's holes, got body fill in it. I will take the die grinder and we'll just knock them off and put a drill through it and die grind them out. So no worries there. You just sand her down smooth, and that's basically where we're going. Alrighty. So that's basically it for that. I'm going to smooth it off with the DA and then see if we can't get it carried inside. See what happens. The DA. Ah, you put it away, didn't you? Good girl. I can stir it back here because I know the filler's dry. These over here. We have the 80 grit right there. This is an 80 grit. Usually on a body fill I'll start with 40-80. On the Napa fill I find that I have to use the 40 grit step first, but this Z grip is pretty fine stuff. We're going to go with the 80 grit. I'm going to knock it off as fast as I can. As fast as I can. That's the name of the game for me sometimes. You know, when you become good at something, and I think the next step is to see how fast you can do it, I think. And if you do not think that way, well, why not? You're going to give me a mask, sweetheart? You're going to give me a mask? Thank you, sweetheart. He can get a clean one if he wants. There's a clean one out there, Aidyn, if you like. I'll remember that when you make a cup of coffee. I'll make them a dirty cup. That's all right. Yeah, I know you will. So I'm just going to hold it flat, or I don't even have to hold it flat. I'm just going to run it off really quick, and we're going to go for it. The DA has speeds on the side of it. It's got a speed on. I got done 5. I think it goes up to 10. I'm not sure. It goes up quite a ways. Nice sanding stuff. It's been a long time since I used the Z grip. I generally just go with a Napa fill generally. Beautiful. Nice and smooth. Wow. Woo! Love it. This here, like I've made this and welded this together, you know, put that C channel in it, I guess they call it, for Chad. But anyways, you must realize if you're grinding it and making it look excellent, which I think it does, it looks excellent, it was ground nice, I could have painted the way it was, but there's still going to be grinder marks there and all that sort of stuff, and really to get it smooth, you need to fill it. More or less you cannot tell. And that's what we're going for, so you can't tell. And anything that is left, I'm hoping that the primer takes it. So the primer, you know, we're going to use primer on it obviously, but we're taking the main off it with the filler. You can see the little scratches that it's filling. That's what I wanted to do. I'm going to go through the paper, but I'm not going to waste a whole bunch of time. Just get it done, smooth her up, get it ready. Try your 80 grit. Aidyn, try your 80 grit. Try that paper. You're almost looking like you're almost there. Make sure everything's feathered off. I'll do that by hand. This is not for strength, it's for beauty. Like Jolene. A little bit more right there, off the other side. Take the cord around the other way. There was a funny comment in the comment section. I think Jolene said something about why you using rock art. That's for cover up. Isn't that what everything's for? You know what I mean? It can be, I don't know, gator liner or whatever you want to put on the bottom. Primer, paint, body fill. Isn't that what it's all for? Cover up. What would make the difference if it was gator liner or rocker guard? I enjoy the rocker guard because I like the satin look. It takes away from the look of the underneath of all the weld marks and all that sort of stuff. That's basically what I'm doing here. And I find it more cheaper and more reasonable. Not into the hard shelled, because if it comes off, you've got an issue. Beautiful. Aidyn going for it. He's going for it. I'm just letting off and I see the metal poke through. That's what I'm doing. Letting off and the metal pokes through. Go to the nicest car in the car show with the mirrors underneath, and you'll know how they done it. You'll know how they done it. That's basically what I'm telling you. You'll know how they done it, because I'm showing you right here. This is why they're worth so much money and take so much time. Where are we at for time, sweetheart? What? I gotta just do this a little bit. We probably won't get to the primer then. Do you want to get to the primer? Next video, we'll do the primer stage. And then we'll be painting before the new year. That'll be exciting, won't it? Huh? That'll be exciting. Guess who's going to get some Love from Jolene. Love. That's what it's all about. I love her. I'll build her a car. It won't take too long. We'll get her done and on to the next one, won't we, sweetheart? You'll be happy and I'll be happy. Happy wife, happy life. I like building cars, so that's my gift to Jolene. I like building cars. I want to build another one after this one, that's for sure, obviously. Maybe we'll team up, Aidyn, and build a show car. Huh? It's a lot better with the picks out of the side. Knocking the edges off. I didn't get that little in there, but just feather it off. That's all that has to be done. I'm using an 80 grit. Generally I use a 40 first, but not in this filler. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Basically, the reason we're sanding this and filling this chassis out, because the chassis is 90 years old. It's got some pits in it. It had pits in it. And it's, you know, it's fairly old. So we want to make it look like new. That's basically why. If it was new, we'd probably not have to do it all, fill it all, but we'd fill some, no doubt, if it was new. But it's not new. And if you're working with a new chassis, lucky you. Lucky you. That's generally what we don't start with, is a new chassis. Got a spot right there I want to sand. Spot down the end I want to sand. And then I can call it fini. Going for it. Drop the sandpaper. Ouch. Beautiful. You are, Joe, and it's beautiful. Aidyn, making it a little finer, isn't it? Make it a little nicer, eh? Yep. Woo. Done. I think we got her done, baby. So what's going to happen now is we'll carry it in there. Me and Aidyn will probably finish that other control arm. We'll carry this in. We'll put some primer on it. I got to drill out the holes. Got to drill out the holes. I'm going to show you me using a drill. Do we have the computer up here? Oh, we're going to give away a hat or a shirt. You stick around, we'll give away a hat or a shirt. Just want to make you guys proud of me. He does use a drill once in a while. That's for the transmission cross member. This was the smaller one for up front. I better sure hone them out. got the motor mounts to do. You can tell how thin the fill is when I put it through there. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. We got all the holes drilled. We're ready to rock and roll for some primer. So we'll come in here. We'll prime that. I might knock it up. Yeah, it's fine. We'll prime that. We'll do a couple coats on it, 3 or 4 coats. And then it'll be brought back out again. And it'll be ready for guide coat and sanding and get it ready. So it'll be a 220, then a 400, and then we'll paint it. And then we'll really get to see what it looks like, you know. That's when we'll get to see what it looks like. We'll also prime the control arms, that sort of stuff, engine mounts, and you'll see how the best car, the nicest cars at the car show are done, basically. And I did that to cover up scratches. Alrighty. You gotta love when the camera's up because you work. Got that done in a good time. We'll prime that, the rear end, the control arms. Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be epic. 244. Thank you very much. You have a chance to win a hat or a shirt. And if you do not comment, you do not have a chance to win. Thanks, Jolene and Chad, for your inspiration. I wish I could have had this YouTube channel 40 years ago because of my love of cars. Through your inspiration, I would have done so many more in a lifetime. Dreams, but at 75, time and age won't allow me. So keep up the videos so I can experience those dreams through you and Jolene for the new year. Awesome. That's good. I'm not the best reader, obviously, but what he's telling me is that he appreciates what we're doing, and he probably would have done a lot more himself if he had known maybe the quicker process. And I appreciate that because I'm only showing you the way I do it. You can do it any way you want to, but I'm just showing you the way I can do it. But you must appreciate when you go to the car show, when you look underneath that car with the mirrors on it, you must know what's going on. And what I'm showing you is what has happened to make it look that nice, basically. You know, if you've got an old car and it's going to look as good as Jolene's chassis is going to, that's what they have done to make it that nice, and they have done just as much work and probably more. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.